There is a comforting illusion most people live with. The idea that the past is finished, that it sits neatly behind us, sealed, inert, no longer capable of influencing the present, except as a memory. We say, "That's in the past," as if time itself were a clean eraser, wiping events away the moment they slip behind the horizon of now. But physics has never agreed with this comforting story. And Stephen Hawking, more than most, dedicated his life to explaining why this belief is fundamentally false. From the perspective of everyday experience, time feels like a straight line. Yesterday is gone, today is here, tomorrow is waiting. Yet when we step beyond intuition and enter the realm of cosmology, this simple picture collapses. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, a framework Hawking worked within extensively, time is not a universal river flowing at the same rate for everyone. It bends, stretches, and slows depending on motion and gravity. In other words, time does not behave like a disposable sequence of moments. It behaves like a dimension, and dimensions do not simply vanish. Hawking often emphasized that the universe does not operate according to human common sense. What feels obvious to us is usually wrong at cosmic scales. When physicists describe spacetime, they are not speaking metaphorically. Past, present, and future all coexist within a four-dimensional structure. The past is not erased, it is embedded. Every event that has ever occurred is written into the geometry of spacetime itself. This leads to a deeply unsettling implication. The past is not something that was. It is something that is just located elsewhere in time. Imagine a distant star whose light takes 1,000 years to reach Earth. When we observe it through a telescope, we are not seeing the star as it is now. We are seeing it as it was a millennium ago. That version of the star is not a memory. It is physically real, preserved in the structure of the universe, traveling toward us at the speed of light. In this sense, the cosmos itself is a vast archive, constantly delivering fragments of the past into the present. Hawking pushed this idea further when discussing black holes and information. For decades, physicists debated whether information about the past could be destroyed. Hawking initially argued that black holes erase information forever, that once something crossed the event horizon, its history was lost. Later, he revised this position. His final work suggested that information is never truly destroyed, only scrambled beyond easy recognition. This correction was profound. If information cannot be destroyed, then the universe does not forget. Every action, every event, every choice leaves an imprint that cannot be fully erased. The past is not gone. It is encoded. At a human level, this insight challenges how we think about our own lives. We often believe we can outrun our history by moving forward, but physics suggests something subtler. The past does not chase us. It accompanies us, not as punishment, not as nostalgia, but as structure. The present moment is shaped by what came before in ways far deeper than psychology or memory alone. Hawking never framed this as a spiritual claim, yet its implications are almost existential. If the universe retains its past, then time is not a series of disposable moments. It is a cumulative reality. What has happened remains part of the total fabric of existence. This is why the phrase "the past is gone" is not just emotionally misleading, it is scientifically inaccurate. Before moving on, pause and reflect on this idea. If the past still exists in the structure of the universe, then perhaps it also exists in you in a way that cannot simply be dismissed. If this resonates with you, leave a comment with this short phrase: "The past still exists." If the past still exists, embedded in the structure of spacetime, a disturbing question immediately arises. What does that mean for choice? For responsibility? For the feeling that you are actively shaping your life rather than merely moving through a script that has already been written? Stephen Hawking was careful with this territory. He did not speak like a motivational thinker, nor like a spiritual teacher. He spoke as a physicist, confronting the consequences of equations that refuse to flatter human intuition. And one of those consequences is this: if time is a dimension, then the universe may be far less flexible than we like to believe. In classical physics, the future is open and the past is fixed. But in relativistic physics, this distinction weakens. All moments exist within spacetime. From a block universe perspective, a view Hawking often referenced, the entire history of the universe exists as a single, complete structure. Nothing is being added to it. Nothing is being removed. We are not creating time. We are moving through it. This idea unsettles people because it sounds like fatalism. If the past still exists and the future already exists, then what role do our choices play? Hawking's answer was subtle and often misunderstood. He did not argue that choice is meaningless. He argued that choice is local. From inside the system, decisions matter because they are part of the structure itself. Your choices are not external interruptions to spacetime, they are events within it. The fact that an event exists does not make it irrelevant. It makes it inevitable once it occurs, not meaningless before it occurs. Think of it this way: a book exists in its entirety, from first page to last. Yet while reading it, the tension, the uncertainty, the emotional weight of decisions inside the story are real. The existence of the ending does not cancel the importance of the middle. In Hawking's universe, we are both the reader and the character. This reframes how we think about regret. People often wish they could erase past choices, imagining an alternate version of themselves untouched by mistakes. But physics offers no eraser. The universe does not rewind. It does not edit. It preserves. The past version of you is not a ghost. It is a coordinate in spacetime that still exists. That sounds harsh until you realize the other side of it. If the past cannot be erased, then neither can moments of courage, integrity, endurance, or growth. They are not over. They are not lost. They are part of the permanent structure of reality. Every time you endured something difficult, that endurance did not disappear when the moment passed. It became woven into the universe itself. Hawking once remarked that the universe is governed by laws, but those laws allow for complexity far beyond simple predictability. Small changes can lead to radically different outcomes. This is why responsibility still matters. Even in a universe where the past exists, which past exists depends on what actually happened, on what was chosen. The mistake people make is thinking that accepting the permanence of the past means surrendering agency. In reality, it sharpens agency. If what you do cannot be undone at a cosmic level, then what you do matters more, not less. Your actions are not temporary smudges on reality. They are permanent inscriptions. This understanding also changes how we interpret healing. Healing is not about deleting what happened. Physics does not permit that. Healing is about integration, about allowing past events to exist without letting them dominate the present moment. Hawking's universe does not promise freedom from history. It offers freedom within history. Pause here for a moment. If the past cannot be erased, then neither can its lessons. If this perspective challenged you, leave a comment with this phrase: "What happened still matters." Most people believe they live in the present. It feels obvious. You are here now, reading these words. The past is behind you, the future ahead. Yet Stephen Hawking argued that this sense of now may be one of the greatest illusions the human mind ever produced. Physics does not recognize a universal present. According to relativity, there is no single moment that everyone in the universe agrees is happening right now. Two observers moving at different speeds will disagree on which events are simultaneous. What feels like a shared present is actually a local experience shaped by motion, gravity, and perception. The universe itself does not privilege your current moment over any other. This dismantles the idea that the present is a special, isolated point. If there is no cosmic now, then the present is not a boundary separating what exists from what no longer exists. It is simply where your consciousness happens to be located in space-time. Hawking understood that this realization is deeply destabilizing. Human identity is built on continuity. We tell ourselves a story. This happened to me, then this, and now I am here. But if all moments exist, then identity is not confined to the present self. Every version of you that has ever existed still exists, not as memory, but as a physical reality embedded in time. This does not mean you are trapped by who you were. It means who you are is layered. Your childhood self did not vanish when you grew older. That person still exists at a different point in space-time, just as real as the version of you reading this now. The same is true of moments you regret and moments you cherish. They are not overwritten, they coexist. This perspective transforms how we think about memory. Memory is not the past returning. It is the present mind accessing traces of events that are already part of reality. You are not recalling something that no longer exists. You are referencing something that still does. Hawking often spoke about time's arrow, the reason we experience time moving forward rather than backward. He tied this to entropy, the tendency of systems to move from order to disorder. The arrow of time is not a fundamental law, it is a statistical outcome. Time feels directional because disorder increases, not because the past disappears. This means the flow of time is an experience, not a destruction process. When something feels over, what has ended is not the event itself, but your ability to interact with it. You cannot revisit the past because you are moving forward along the arrow of time, not because the past has ceased to exist. This distinction is crucial. It suggests that loss, change, and irreversibility are about access, not annihilation. There is something strangely comforting in this. It implies that nothing meaningful is truly lost to oblivion. Moments of love, connection, sacrifice, and understanding are not erased by time. They remain part of the universe's structure, even if you can no longer touch them. At the same time, this idea removes a common excuse. People often say, "That was a different me." Physics challenges this separation. You may have changed, but you did not replace yourself. You added layers. Responsibility and continuity remain intact, not as moral pressure, but as ontological fact. Hawking never suggested that humans should live trapped in their past. Instead, his work quietly insists that the present is not a clean slate. It is a crossroads, one location among many in a much larger structure. Sit with that for a moment. If the present is not unique, then meaning cannot come from trying to escape the past. It must come from how you move forward within a universe that remembers everything. If this reflection resonated with you, leave a comment with this phrase: "Nothing meaningful is erased." When Stephen Hawking spoke about time, he was not trying to comfort anyone. He was trying to be precise. Yet precision, when applied to reality at its deepest level, has a way of reshaping how we live, whether we intend it or not. If the past is not gone, if it remains written into the fabric of the universe, then the question is no longer what can I erase? The question becomes, what am I adding to the structure of reality right now? This is where Hawking's ideas quietly converge with responsibility. In a universe that does not forget, every action becomes permanent in a way we rarely acknowledge. Not permanent in the sense that it will dominate your future, but permanent in the sense that it will always have existed. Your choices are not temporary gestures swallowed by time. They are events that join the total history of the cosmos. This reframes purpose. Purpose is often described as something you discover, a destination waiting for you somewhere ahead. But Hawking's view of time suggests something else. Purpose is something you instantiate. You bring it into existence through action. Once enacted, it becomes part of the universe's irreversible record. There is no cosmic editor revising your life story. There is no future version of reality that erases what you did because you grew or moved on. Growth does not delete the past, it builds upon it. The universe does not demand perfection, it demands coherence. This understanding also dissolves a common fear, the fear that one mistake defines everything. If all moments exist, then no single moment has exclusive authority over your identity. Your worst decision exists, yes, but so does every decision that followed it. Meaning emerges not from isolated events, but from patterns across time. Hawking's final contributions to physics emphasized humility. The universe is vast, largely indifferent, governed by laws that do not adjust themselves to human narratives. Yet within that indifference, something remarkable occurs. Conscious beings make choices that leave permanent marks on reality. This is not a call to anxiety. It is a call to clarity. If the past still exists, then living well is not about denying it or obsessing over it. It is about acting in a way you would be willing to have preserved. It is about choosing actions that you would not be ashamed to know are forever part of the universe's structure. This perspective strips away shallow motivation. It does not promise reward or threaten punishment. It simply states a fact. What you do becomes part of what is. The past is not gone, and neither is what you choose today. That realization does not imprison you. It grounds you. It invites you to live deliberately, not because time is short, but because time is complete. If this series changed the way you think about time, leave a final comment with this phrase: "What I choose matters." Not for the algorithm, not for validation, but as a quiet acknowledgement that in a universe that never truly forgets, awareness itself is already a form of responsibility.